So a little bit about the JBs, the Jungle Brothers. They came together in the 80s. It's Mike G, Sammy B, and Africa Baby Bam. Okay, they're notable for recording, being the first group outside of Chicago, which is important, to record a hip house song. A hip house song is basically someone rapping over house music. Without getting too deep into the history of house music, as it relates to hip hop and the black experience in America, house is really a child of disco, just like techno or EDM is also one of the children or grandchildren or whatever you want to think about it, which was very prominent in Chicago. Todd the God, was a major producer of important early house music, which was highly sample-based. And Todd the God produced a lot of early hip house songs, with the Jungle Brothers being Girl, I'll House You. And they really set this trend of hip house music. I mean, like, everybody would have one hip house song on their album. Even fucking Cool G Rap and DJ Polo had hip house versions. So maybe they'd release a song, and then they'd release a remix version that was a hip house version. But they were the first to do it, the first to establish the trend. They were really known for just having, at the time, a very eclectic, a very different sample source material. I mean, they were just grabbing stuff that no one had ever used before. And it wasn't that they were using it incredibly creatively, that they were hooking up and flipping things and made, epically. They were just finding different source material. They were introducing new source material into the, canon of hip hop music, because like I said, everything has the potential to become hip hop music. It just has to get in your hands. They made a lot of just fun love songs, so to speak, about youth. Think about, y'all may be still there, but think about being a teenager. These cats were, started doing stuff in high school together, making music in high school together. I mean, what are you doing in high school? Or what were you doing in the 80s in high school? One of the most important things to you was sexuality, getting laid, exploration, of your own body, of other people's bodies, and one of your major drives when you're that age, is your sex drive, And so a lot of their songs had to deal with that, but not in an objectifying way, in a playful way, as an experimental sort of way. In this song, You Make Me Sweat, which is just, a really important joint of theirs. You can take a little look-see here. Some Jungle Brothers records. So done by the Forces of Nature and Straight Out the Jungle. Both pretty classics, but You Make Me Sweat is off of Done by the Forces of Nature. Highly recommended record here. But just look at the aesthetics on these covers. It's pretty. Talk about this African vibe. Specifically done by the Forces of Nature. And you got to understand, Red Alert tied all of the native tongues in with, the Zulu Nation, which had the whole term. Zulu is about, I believe, what Bambaataa was. His story is, it was there was a movie he saw, and Zulu was a tribe in Africa, protecting itself against colonization. What they use for sample source material in this is Zap. Zap is a band out of Ohio, primarily known for electro funk music. in the early 80s. You will know it's pretty much all the Troutman brothers, specifically Roger Troutman. Roger Troutman was known for playing the talk box. And so they use the cut on this album, which is Dance Floor, but they're known for like super classic joints, like I Can Make You Dance, Computer Love. They were signed by Bootsy Collins, formerly of Funkadelic, and the James Brown Band. But Roger Troutman played the talk box. That was his thing. It was a box that you put in your mouth, and you could control, manipulate the voice using like a synthesizer, like a Moog. And he was dope. He did actually a bunch of hip hop songs. So if you know the song with Tupac and Dre, California, it was him who was doing the talk box on that. So you can just hear a little bit of that sample in the background. Again, they didn't flip these samples crazy, there was nothing like mad in this. It was just like in how and what they found and just using this new material.